Yo, what's going on, guys? In my last video about Torchlight, I was talking about my first impressions with the game, mostly based on playing through the story mode. But we all know that in any action RPGs, the most important part is the endgame. So in today's video, I want to explain what's the endgame in this game. So right after you're gonna finish the story mode, you're gonna be around level 40 to 45, and you're gonna finish the first 3 chapters of the story. And after that, you're gonna unlock some additional quests. This is basically chapter 4, Netherrealm Invasion, and chapter 5, Netherrealm Invasion 2. And these are basically series of quests. Well, not really a quest, just zones where you just have to enter one zone, kill a boss in that zone, go to the next one, and the next one, and next one, and next one, and you can see here like a chain of like where you have to go. And this is basically introduction to the endgame, because endgame is very similar to something like Path of Exile, where you just enter a map, kill monsters in that map, and then at the end you kill a map boss, and then you leave and you go to the next one. So this is basically a series of quests to introduce you with that system. And within these quests, you're gonna reach level probably between 55 and 60. And after that, you're gonna unlock the Netherrealm device, which you can access in here. And this is how it looks like. So this is basically core of the endgame. And in this system, you have multiple zones. So there's Glacier Abyss, Boiling Lava, Steel Forge, and so on. And as you can see right now, I have unlocked all of these 4. So Glacier Abyss, Boiling Lava, Steel Forge, and Thunder Waste. I still don't have unlocked Voidlands and Lord of Calamity. And you can see here that there is a certain amount of these like red stones required to unlock them. And these stones are called cinders. And you can actually click in here. You can see that I have 18 of them, and you can see how many of them you need to unlock certain things. So for example, for Thunder Waste, I needed 12 of them, and for Steelforge, I did need only 4. And these you basically have permanently. Once you have a certain amount, you just have them, you never lose them. So when you're gonna first open this device, you are only gonna have 2 of these zones unlocked, so Boiling Lava and Glacier Abyss. And to do any maps within that zones, you're gonna need these beacons. So there is a Boiling Lava beacon and Glacier Abyss beacon. And here, once you click on the zone, you see multiple different maps that you can just enter. And like I said, you just kill monsters in that map. Then at the end, you kill a map boss and you leave, and then you continue to the next one. And within these maps, you're gonna drop more beacons, so you can do more maps. And here you can see basically to do one of them, you need a beacon. So these are basically like keys. And your goal at the beginning is gonna be to do enough maps to be able to summon a boss. And here you can see I have right now 0 out of 4, so I would need to do 4 maps, and then I can access this boss. And after I kill it, 2 things are gonna happen. First thing is you're gonna get 1 cinder. So basically every time you kill it, you're gonna get a cinder, and like I said, you need these cinders to basically unlock new areas and some other content. Like for example here, for free you need Netherrealm Chaos Invasion for 7 trade cards, and I'm gonna talk about these things in a second. So yeah, like I said, first thing is you're gonna get cinder, and second thing is you're gonna unlock the next time mark. So here you can see this is time mark number 1. So all of the monsters are, all of the areas are between 58 and 62. And you can see here's 58 and here's 62. And after we kill a boss, you're gonna unlock time mark 2, so which is gonna raise the level of the areas, but it's also gonna give you some additional monsters and affixes in the map, so you can see the differences between time marks. And then in time mark 2, you have to kill map bosses 5 times. Then you're gonna again kill a big boss. You're gonna get additional cinder, and then you're gonna unlock time mark 3. And this is gonna happen until you reach the maximum amount of time marks, which you can see here is 7. And also, as you could see here with time mark 2, these zones didn't exist, and with time mark 3 they appear, so more zones are gonna appear the more time marks you have. So this is basically the core loop, where you just kill map bosses, kill big boss, you progress to the next time mark, you do the same thing again and again. After a few times, you're gonna unlock the next zone, and you're gonna do the same thing in the next zone, and then next and next and so on. But also the keys to access the later zones drop more rarely. So you can see here for Thunderways I only have 7, these I have 10, but these I have 24 and 38. So they drop more often. So you're gonna have to farm more of these to be able to access these ones. So basically, if you don't have any Thunderways, you should farm these zones to be able to drop them. Also, you can see here that I have 28 keys for time mark 1 or 2, but for time mark 3 I only have 24, and for time mark 5 I only have 2, which basically means that, for example, let me change it to time mark 4, and you can see here to enter it you need a rank 2 beacon. So basically these keys also have additional ranks. So eventually you're gonna have to drop, I assume, like a rank 5 beacon to be able to access the maximum time mark. So that's the first thing. And when you're gonna reach 3 cinders, you're gonna unlock Netherrealm Chaos invitations. And what are these invitations? This is basically a cycle of 5 maps in one area. So for example, in Boiling Lava. And what it does is basically it is gonna show up on some of the maps these special icons. So you can see, for example, these 3 don't have any icons, and these ones have them. So for example, this one will give you this additional mod, which will give legendary monsters, which are basically map bosses, a guaranteed legendary weapon as a drop. And after you do this map, this is gonna disappear. So this is just for 1 use, and this is gonna drop down to 4. So you can see here maximum is 5, and I have 3 remaining. So you're gonna start with 5, then 4, 3, 2, 1, and after you're gonna reach 0, basically it's gonna reset, and you're gonna have a new of these affixes show up somewhere in this area. So basically after every single use they are gonna disappear. But also some of them have special icons. For example, this one has hourglass, which basically means that this one will not disappear after you complete it, which basically means you can continuously do this zone with this additional modifier. So 2.8% chance to drop 1 additional memory fragment. But there are also ones with like this icon, fire, and this basically is gonna make it so after you do it, the effect is gonna affect every single other map within this cycle of the chaos invitation. Let me actually maybe show it in here, because here I started the next cycle. Also, after every single cycle, when you unlock, I believe, level 7, you're gonna also unlock additional trade cards, which basically will upgrade some of these affixes that you can get in the maps. So for example, here, I guess I'm gonna choose maybe this one. I don't really care in here. And I start the next round. And here you can see that this one has a fire icon. And this basically means that after I clear this map, this effect is gonna affect every single other zone. So the first thing you should do is you should always check for these fire symbols. For example, here I would probably start either with this one, or maybe all 3 of them. And after that, I would go do any remaining 2, depending on which rewards you want. For example, 22% drops. And here you can see this one has more stars. So basically, after every single cycle, you saw that I could choose one of the 3 options. And sometimes these options are gonna have multiple stars. So you should focus on them to get better rewards in the future. So this one would give me 1% chance for embers. This one, all legendary will drop a beacon. And you can see this one is 2 stars. So in here, I would probably start with this one, then I would do this map, then this one, and remaining 2, maybe this one and this one, something like that. So after 5, you would start the next one, and I would be at 7 in here, so I would have to do one more map, and then I would do this big boss, and then I would jump to a next time mark, and after a few of these I would be able to unlock next zone and so on. Also, every single map that you are gonna do can be modified. So here, let me actually show you a map example. So let's go, for example, in here, and like I said earlier, it is gonna be affected by this additional card. I'm gonna lose this key when I'm gonna do it, and here you can actually modify it. So as a base, it is gonna have 20% increased drops, 10% rarity, but it also is gonna have some negative modifiers, just like in, for example, Path of Exile, you have some modifiers on maps. So for example, here you're gonna have 20% reduced mana regeneration. Also here you can see all of the effects of the cards from the Chaos Invasions. And here, if you want to change these affixes, for example, you want maybe more drops, or maybe your build highly relies on mana, so you don't want this modifier, and you can reroll it using Netherrealm Resonance, which is here. So I have 46 of them. So you click on it, and you see that it changed. Unfortunately, quantity didn't change, so let me do it again. Now it is actually higher, but also it has some harder modifiers. And one last thing with the way you can modify it is with the compasses. So here I have only one slot with 4 more cinders. I'm gonna unlock the second one, then 12, and then 17. So at the end you can have 4 slots for compasses. Here I can use them. The UI is not perfect here, it's still a closed beta, so I hope just it's gonna be fixed in the actual release. But here, for example, I'm gonna use this compass. I have 8 of them, and it is gonna give additional 2 groups of magic monsters. But it's also gonna make the map harder because it's gonna give 8 offset, and here you can see per offset monsters are gonna take 1% less damage and gonna deal 0.3% more damage. So thanks to this is gonna be basically 8% reduced damage taken by monsters and 2.4% increased damage that they deal. So let's choose this compass. Here you can see the affixes, and let's open the portal. So you enter through this portal. And like I said, the goal should be to just reach the end of the map so you can kill a map boss, but at the same time you can kill some monsters on your way. Also you can progress this bar so you can summon more monsters, and that's basically it. So I'm just gonna not super focus on clearing. I'm just gonna try to finish the map as fast as possible. And it is up to you if you want to like full clear it, if you just want to rush the boss. If you don't really need beacons and you want to just progress as fast as possible, you should probably just kill a boss and leave. But at some point, if you are missing beacons, then it might be a good idea to start clearing these maps a bit more so you can drop some of them. So the boss should be somewhere close, hopefully. These maps are not too big, and here you can see a boss. I'm also gonna start summoning monsters thanks to this for some additional drops, and one more. Oh, I have even one more. So I had 4, and if I would kill some additional monsters in map, I would be able to do this even one more time. And here you can see quite a lot of loot at the end, mostly from these additional monsters and from the map boss. So let me pick up all of the loot. Here you can see the beacons that you need, and here's some additional stuff for mapping and for crafting. And then you can just leave the map. And yeah, that basically was the example. So that's basically how the endgame looks like in this game. So again, just to summarize, what you should do is at first you should just focus on any of these zones, do few maps until you're gonna be able to do a big boss of this area. You do this again, you're gonna then unlock the Netherrealm Chaos Invitation, and then you're gonna focus not only on killing this boss, but also on getting some additional rewards from the invasions, I mean, and you do more maps until you unlock the Steel Forge, which is Cinder 4, and then you do these 3 areas, and then next one and next one, until you, what I assume is a big boss, endgame boss, what you can do at the end. Obviously, you can see that I still haven't unlocked everything, so I'm not 100% sure what is gonna happen later, but that's basically what I assume. And also there is something called Void Rift, which basically requires edicts. So this is a special area that you can enter once you have 3 of them. Obviously, this is just the beginning of the endgame. The game is just being released in the open beta on October 12th, in case you don't know. So obviously this is gonna be expanded, but in my opinion, this is a solid core. It is actually like pretty fun, like very. There's a lot of diversity, like you get to choose which rewards you want to focus on. For example, if you want gear, you go for this one. If you want memory fragments, you go for this one, and so on. So you get to decide what kind of rewards you want to focus on. But it's not super complicated, and there's also not that many like different things to choose from. So I just hope in the future, with more seasons, when the game is gonna be released for some time, you're gonna get more and more stuff to do in the endgame. But for now, that's basically how it's looking. And again, I still haven't unlocked everything, so there also might be some additional stuff that I just don't know about yet. But for now, that's gonna be it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.